Alright guys, so we are back for our third stream of the day. It is now day 3 of autumn. So let's go ahead and fire up our game. During the off period, I went and double checked something, and it looks like sheep should be the cheapest in mid-autumn. So we're going to go check that out. Day 6, or day 3, mid-autumn. $3,400. It's sheep time, but not quite yet. First thing we need to do is finish our grass work. So we're going to get an early start on our morning. I actually want to start mowing over here. Because I want the mower to be on the field side. Alright, we'll clean this up in a bit. Hey, Mr. Awesome, how you doing? We're going to do a little backward driving, just to make sure that our helper stays off those trees. We're going to have to fix that problem. One tree is out in the middle, and in the middle of the way. All right. So now we can mow in the other direction. Well, the reason we went one way that time is because I wanted to get as close to that field as I could. I think if we drove that close to the field, we'd probably get that message, we don't own the field. But I think the hired helper was somehow able to magically do it. That's right, Simon, we're starting early. We got a lot to do today. This challenge is going pretty good. We got a nice boost to our pocketbook by picking up all the gold nuggets. We took about half a day to do that little job. So that is now behind us. We had a point a couple streams ago where it was mid-afternoon and we really didn't have enough time to do anything other than pick up nuggets. So it was too late to really get into anything else as far as doing grass work. So we took the time to just grab the nuggets, get that behind us. Allow us to buy some more greenhouses. It's going to allow us to buy another field here in a little bit, and it's going to allow us to buy a whole bunch of sheep. Because the plan of the day is to get this obviously baled and picked up, and then I want to see if we can't plow some field grass in, or some map grass out, and put our own grass in. And if we can manage to get that done today, I would be more than ecstatic. He's going to get caught on that too. It's cloudy. They weren't saying it was going to rain today. Rain was planned for tomorrow. Rain scheduled for tomorrow, which is why I think we might wait till tomorrow to do our sheep, because there's only a couple things we can really do in the rain. I turned our headlights off, but now I need to turn them back on. I've been toying with the idea of plowing this grass under and planting it. That should get us a significantly better yield. What do y'all think about that idea of plowing this area under after we pick up the grass and planting our own grass underneath it? Hey Stomp47, how you doing? We're going to square this off. Ed says let's do it. I don't see why it wouldn't let us. It's just map grass. I mentioned in the previous stream, the reason I want to maybe do that now is if I can get this plowed under and planted, hopefully we can get a growth state of grass. And if I can get a growth state of grass before winter, then this grass should be on the exact same schedule as the as all the other grass. So that's 2 votes for plowing this grass under. So far, it's taken us about 3 hours to mow this. It's not too bad. I think it's quickly going to be another case of who's following who. So I'll put a message in the Old Guy Farmers Discord that PSG has a all the contest streams on one page. Alright, we're done. This should be the third. Now I posted, we did 2 streams yesterday that I didn't put up yet. I didn't put up until today. So that might be where you're getting your, getting the 5. While we're over here in town, let's sell these eggs. We did JR Brown. We did 2 streams yesterday, and I didn't publish those until this morning. And this is our 3rd stream of the day. This will probably be actually the last stream of the day. I might be able to do one toward the end of the day. Simply because our kids are coming home today. They've been at their grandparents' house all week, so I've been able to do a bit more than typical. But they're on their way home very shortly. So it all depends on how well we can get our youngest to bed tonight, as to if I have some time to do any kind of stream. I am going to try to do 1 stream per day going forward at a minimum, which should put us finishing this challenge around the middle of September. And we have until November 1st. And I'll let you all know that I've decided that should we, because this is a team effort between you all and me in chat, should we become the victors in this particular contest, I will give away the Platinum DLC, and the way to basically enter for that giveaway will be, once we're all said and done, you'll need to post your guess as to the total number of bales that we sold during the contest, and the first person to either guess the correct number, or in the event that the correct number is not guessed, the first person to guess, or the person to guess the closest number of actual bales sold will get the Platinum DLC. So that will kind of require you to watch a fair number of the streams. Right, this is a 25. We want to hook this one up to the rake. J.R. Brown, do you stream, or are you just going to play along? It's already 11 o'clock. Alright, well, if you get the streaming figured out, you just need to let old guy Farmer know so that he can officially enter you in. I was worried I didn't leave enough room there. What am I caught on? There we go. It's probably going to be midday by the time we get over the cow area. That's the only big negative about that big grass area, is how far away it is. Since I don't plan on having cows, there's no reason to be over there other than to bale up that grass. So the other strategy may be that if it's a literal full day effort to come over here and bale up this grass and get it back, that our time may be better spent focusing on fields that are closer to the main farm. I'm glad you're enjoying the Serenity Valley series. I'm going to put the finishing touches on 46 here later today. Now let's see how many bales we could have gotten off of this grass the first time we cut it. we go. Now we just need to worry about this fence. It's cloudy weather. It really makes it difficult to see where we're going. Well, if you like roleplay, I suggest you watch Mark DuPont. He has some really great stories, and he did a really riveting and drawing in series on Mountain Valley Farms, and now he's moved over to Orchard Farm, which is equally riveting to know, to find out how his success is going to be. Alright, so we got it all raked. Let's get it baled. I guess the number of bales that we get off this is kind of going to tell me if it's worth the effort of coming over here and the amount of time. We'll see how long it takes to bale this up. Because if this field literally takes an entire day to mow, rake, and bale, given the transport time, I'm thinking it may not be worth it. because there's plenty of other fields and area around the main farm. What? When did I turn you off? There's plenty of area around the main farm that we could buy, and that's about the same, well, bigger, quite frankly. You see how little that square is compared to, let's say, field 19 or field 16 or field 24. So the transport time is what's going to kill this endeavor over here. I see the clouds are going away now. We'll be able to see what we're actually doing. Presto, those clouds are gone. It's like blink of an eye. It's amazing. So look at all those trees, and to think that Rubber Burner plans to deforest the entire map. I look forward to following his deforestation project. He seems to feel that forestry is the way to the fastest money. It's definitely a way to consistent money, and you can make a fairly good amount of money with forestry, but I don't know if it's a winning strategy. Well, Prom just told me a little bit ago that over at PCSG there is now a, I guess it's called multi-tube page that has almost all of the contestants' streams, where you would be able to, I don't know, simultaneously watch, but definitely go to one page to be able to watch most of the contestants from one location. So that seems pretty interesting. So I don't know if there's any other contestants streaming at the moment, but that might be an interesting thing to do. I'm not really sure where over at PCSG, but I just know that it's over there somewhere. I think there might be a streaming menu option at the top. Guess we'll need to clean our baler when we get back over to the farm. It's pretty dirty. It's under the knowledge base, something called a multi-tube. Are there any other PCSG regulars watching? We are getting a decent number of marshmallows off this, but again, it's 3:40. I'm thinking the transport time to and from is just going to kill us over here. So I'm more apt to just mow this when I have time than to plow this under and plant it. I think I'd rather plow under and plant some fields that are closer to the main farm. Mostly due to the sad speed that these Fords can muster. Now, if we had cows, this would be a great spot to do, because we'd already be here. It's correct. They could just sit over here and not rot. So we could decide that we didn't want to waste time to drive over here to pick them up quite yet. Just like in real life, farmers that wrap silage bales will leave them usually off the side of the field and then come over with a front loader, or I've seen trucks configured with special forks or something on the back that they can basically back up to a bale and clamp on and flip it up to their bed. So you'd go around and pick up the bales as you needed to feed them. Hey Bob, have you been following the progress of our contest here secretly? It's the first time I've seen you, I've seen a comment. But maybe you just watch and you're a silent observer. Now, would the bale tossing you described, have you seen that with bales just left out in the middle of the field, or have you seen that with bales that have been stacked somewhere? Because I'm wondering if it's like those red barrels that are over at the farm. Because the red barrels over at the farm, old guy farmer said that they sometimes when you spawn in the map they go flying because they're too they're dynamic and they've been positioned too close to other things with collisions. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what Rubber Burner was worrying about, I think, early on in his first stream. He started questioning if there were enough trees. Because there basically would be, at that point, a time where he would literally, you know, work himself out of a revenue source. And then he'd have to invest in something else. And depending on when he ran out of trees, there might not be time to invest in anything else. Alright, that's it. These little bits I don't think are going to amount to much. That's a decent amount of marshmallows. But since we started over here literally right at 6 o'clock, or if not right at 6, it was just a few minutes after. And now it's 5 o'clock. So I think when we get back to the main farm, we'll hook up to that culti plow and see if we can't manage to make it create a field. And if we can't, then we'll have to look and figure out what we're going to do. It's day 3 of autumn, so we can run a mission because we ran a mission on day 2. So we might see if there's a mission on one of these fields that I've been eyeballing. Field 24. We just did a mission on field 26, so I don't think that will have a another mission on it. Let's check the forecast again. We got rain in the forecast for day 4. We have rain in the forecast for day 6 and 1. Looks like we will have frozen ground starting day 3 of winter. I was looking at the forecast and not the guy coming across to me. So I wanted to tab into those trains to slow them down. We didn't need one barreling down here at 50 miles an hour to take out our baler. It takes about 40 minutes to drive from the shop area of town back to here. Alright, let's get up here and see what happens. Is it usually Y that enables field creation? It's not doing anything. So that doesn't seem to work. Rubber Burner seems to think cleaning your equipment wastes time. So for some reason, the auto load trailer that I use, which is the from the road train pack, it seems to pick up pallets when you have round barrel selected. So the pallet was a little bit too close. Two and a half meters, 130 horsepower, 170 horsepower. 187. So this one is 3.6 meters. This one's 2.5. All right. You cost $1,200. Okay. You cost $1,700. But I really like this one because it makes pretty much square. All right. So now we know what we're going to do. So the plan is tomorrow it's going to rain. We're going to buy me up some sheep. How much sheep? How many sheep do you think we should get? Sheep are $3,400 today. They should be the same price tomorrow. So we're going to buy some sheep. Hey, Pro Joe Gaming, how you doing? So we're going to buy us some sheep tomorrow. How many sheep do you think we should pick up? We're also going to pick up a cheap front loader tractor so that we can feed those bales that we started out with. to pick up the Amazon lawnmower, and we're going to feed for as long as we have grass. We're going to mow the sheep area. J.R. Brown wants to see 100 sheep. That's $340,000. I think Trucker Brad was going to get some sheep, but I don't know how many he finally ended up buying. We're just going to use the time here to transport some of our bales up to the sell point where we're staging them. Ed says to start with at least 50. Since we're not going to do anything else this game day, I might as well drive up to the cow area and pick those up. Yes, they do breed. I know that, and that would be very good. They don't breed until spring, and they only breed during spring. They also produce most of their wool in spring. They produce a little bit of wool in summer. Were your ears burning, Rubber Bernard? Were you here when we were chatting about your deforestation? I was admiring the wonderful trees that were up on the hills by the cow area and thinking about your deforestation efforts. I can always, we can buy bales, so feeding them over winter won't be a problem. Alright, see you later, J.R. Brown. That's right, the goal will be to sell the sheep once they are no longer productive in year 3. Alright, that's all of that. So how many do we get? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 24, 26, 28, 32 bales off of this area. At the end of on the last day, well, basically, yeah, we can sell anything that we want, but the way the rules are set up, on the last day of the 3rd year, you will sell all of your equipment. Any crops that you still have in the silos, we're not going to have crops, but if you had crops in the silos, you would sell them. But there's no rule that says you have to carry your sheep or your animals all the way to the last day. So, for example, sheep are no longer productive at the end of summer. If you wanted to sell sheep at the end of summer, you could. So I'm not too worried about that pallet that's with the bales, because tomorrow we're going to buy a front loader tractor and we'll be able to pick that pallet up and move it out of the way. I debated about keeping the about not getting a front loader and using the telehandler, but that would require driving the telehandler back and forth from the greenhouses constantly, and that might take too long. So we've got over 6 full loads of silage bales there. Oh my. Harvest mission. Harvest mission. And a harvest. Whoa, that's a long time. Oh, $30,000, but that's a long time. All right. Let's see here. $81,000, 1 hectare. 1.87 hectares, $145,000. Alright, so I picked this field because I think we're going to buy this field after we harvest it. We're going to plow this field up and plant this field in grass. So, I think that's easy money. I think it was a good idea to plow up the field grass that's around the main farm, but I think it's going to take too long and have too little of a return. Investing in this field is not a bad investment because we can sell this field at the end. So any fields that we own, we can sell at the end of the challenge. So having this field is a wise investment because it locks our money up in real estate that does not lose value. And I've thought about this earlier today, that when we were faced with a harvest mission, would we buy a field before we harvested it and then harvest the crop and sell the crop, or would we run the harvest mission and then get the field harvested? And I thought about it for a bit, and I thought, well, if we buy the field before we harvest the crop, then we would have to lease a harvester, we would have to lease a tipper, we would have to harvest the field at 15x speed, and then we'd be able to work the land. And I felt that while we would get a crop that we could sell, I didn't feel that we would make any money off the endeavor, and all we do is waste time. So obviously what we're going to do is we're going to get a little bit of money by harvesting this field for this guy. Then we're going to buy the field out from under him. And while we are buying or transporting our sheep tomorrow, we will lease a manure spreader. We'll fertilize this field with manure. Then we'll plow this field up. That will give us another level of fertilization. And then we'll plant this field in grass, because field 23 it's a little smaller than field 11, but it might be a little bit bigger than field 12 as far as number of bales we can get out of it. And if we can get 2.5 cuts a year out of this field for 2 years, I think it will be a good investment in time. It's not like we're going to get the greatest yield off of this field anyway, because this field needs plowing and it's probably not been fertilized. Hey Henry, how you doing? We're just letting GPS auto harvest the field for us. We can't see what field crop prices are during this time. Hope you're having a good day. We'll just do some cinematic angles, since all we have to do is wait. Hope everybody watching is enjoying the challenge, and I hope you spread the love by watching the other contestants in the challenge. See our grain piling up here, but we're getting a pretty poor yield off of this field, which is another reason why I decided that it might not be in our best interest to buy the field before we harvest it, because the yield's just going to be so low. What does squash? What kind of other sport is similar to squash that I would understand? It's not like baseball, is it? And you're never late. That's the beauty of a live stream, is that it will be archived and you can always watch it on your own leisure. Adam, I don't know. I've not played County Line, but I do know that Ian Robinson, who has been playing County Line, has been using AI extension mod. I think he's having fairly good success with it. The fields that I've seen him use it on, beyond having some issues with some trees and whatnot, real close to the edge of the field, I think he's had fairly good success with it. I actually have never used the AI extension mod myself. You can see the chrome on the trailer over there reflecting. Have you been enjoying playing on County Line, Adam? So I am, we're only doing silage bales. So my take on that is I think silage bales is where the money is. I think there's too much idle time if you just do regular crops, because you have to work the field, plant it, fertilize it, which you have to do with grass, but you only have to do it once. So once you plant grass, all you gotta do is keep fertilizing it. But with crops, you gotta plant, fertilize, harvest, work the field, plant, fertilize, harvest, work the field, plant, fertilize, and harvest. So that's, you've got that cycle 3 times. At the start, you only have a few fields. So you're only going to be able to plant so many crops. I know GrizzlyBearSims, his strategy is to, in year 1, plant all the grains because he has a grain header. Or he will buy a grain header. I think he sold his harvester just to not keep it around. And then in year 2, I guess you could pick up the other crop, or you could just only harvest grains. Now you could obviously do silage bales when you weren't busy. You could do logging when you're not busy. So we're on hard mode, and I don't remember what the price of silage bales are on hard mode, but I think they're about $900, maybe $980 a bale in the vanilla game. I've never sold a silage bale with seasons, but in looking through the seasons files, it appears that silage bales have a higher price in mid and late winter. So the plan is to hold on to all our silage bales until middle and late winter, and then do a big major bale sell. What will we get for the bales? I honestly don't know yet. I'm hoping we get at least $1,200 a bale. We may get a lot more than that. We may get less than that. But we'll just have to see. Yeah, if you open up the zip file, there's a data folder, and within the data folder is a bunch of XML files. One of the XML files is called economy, and in there is price factors for all the animals and all the crops for the 12 stages of a season's year. And the way the transitions count is early spring is transition 1, mid spring is transition 2, obviously late spring is transition 3, and then you can basically extrapolate out the rest of the year. So silage bales have a different price transition for different parts of the year, and in mid and late winter they have the highest price factor of the whole year. So we should be able to get the best price for silage bales in middle and late winter. The same holds for animals. Animals will cost a different amount of money depending on what time of year you buy them. They will also give you back a different amount of money depending on what time of year you sell them. So you want to buy when they're cheap and sell when they're high, and that obviously is not the same time of the year. Typically animals cost more when they're being the most productive. So for example, sheep and pigs cost the most in spring when they produce the most wool, and for pigs when they reproduce. I know that sheep are supposed to cost the least in mid-autumn, which is where we are right now. So at the start of the stream we looked to see what our sheep price cost would be, and right now sheep are costing us $3,400. If we tried to buy those sheep in early spring, the cost would have been over $5,000. So it is hopefully going to pay a benefit for us to buy our sheep now and only forego wool productivity over 2 years. We're not going to buy that field right now. We're going to run a mission tomorrow morning on that field to drop the price just a little bit more, and then we'll buy it. So tomorrow's plan, game day, what is this? This is game day 15, are we in game day 16? I don't know. Year 1, day 4 of autumn, we'll call it. So the plan for tomorrow is to run a mission on that field, to buy the field, lease a manure spreader, start spreading manure on the field with a hired helper. And then lease a animal trailer, pick up some number of sheep. The consensus so far in chat is to go with 100. Pick up a front loader tractor to have at the farm to do our bale transport. And feed our sheep, get them watered, and continue to work this new field that we bought, and see how much we can get worked in that field tomorrow. Because I don't expect any of the grass here to be worth cutting again until late autumn. Yeah, we were just doing that mission to lower the price of the field. And I had mentioned earlier in the stream, you may have missed it, that I was debating earlier today, because I was planning on buying a field as soon as there was a harvest mission. I was debating earlier today if it would be better to buy the field before harvesting and then to lease a harvester and lease a tipper, do the harvest and sell the grain at a good price. But then to do that, you would be harvesting at 15 times speed. So you would be burning some serious daylight to do that. Just like with other AI fields, the field's not been plowed, likely hasn't been fertilized unless we ran a fertilized mission. So our yield would have been low. So I decided that our return probably wasn't going to be there by the time we harvested and sold the grain to pay for the time that we spent on the field and the amount of money it costs to lease the tipper and the harvester. So I decided to go the route of taking the guy's money, using his equipment to harvest, and then buying the field afterwards. Alright, so we're going to drive back to the farm, then we're going to save out, fast forward through the day, through the night, and then close out the stream. It's been a pleasure streaming for you guys. I don't know if we have anybody that's watched all three, but if you have, major kudos for sticking through this whole thing. I might stream again tonight. I don't know. It's all going to depend on how well we can put our youngest child off to bed. He's on his way home right now. But I am going to try to stream one episode of this per day going forward. It's just I don't know when I'll be able to do it. It will probably be in my evening. Probably between 9:30 and 10:30 minus 4 GMT for those of you that are not on the east coast of the US. Alright, let's pick up our eggs. Alright, I'll see you later, Tino. Alright. So we will save just in case something happens. Fast forward, Alt in. Oh, it's raining. It's raining. So let's take a look at our finances. We were plus $16.5 yesterday. We had $2,000 in running costs, $320 in property maintenance, $1,208.24 for our greenhouses, $4,500 for our harvest job. I don't know what the... Oh, that's the eggs that we sold. This must have been fuel that we bought the other day. No, fuel costs is here. I don't know what that is. Alright. We're going to save out. We're going to quit out. Thank you guys for watching, and hope you can go watch some of the other contestants. And until next time, happy farming.